Nephi Jones with Bellevue University. We're going to dissect the sheep brain today. This is my sheep brain, and it has the consistency of like a rubber. It's kind of feels somewhat hard, but it's still kind of pliable. You can see all the blood vessels running through the brain. Go ahead and label some of the structures that we can already see. It looks like we have the two hemispheres of the cerebrum. Down here would be like our cerebellums here, with our brainstem coming out, with our midbrain, with the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla oblongata is down here, and then out to the spinal cord. You can kind of see the thin layer. The top layer that surrounds the brain is the dura mater. If you kind of manipulate it, you can kind of see it stretching with the brain tissue. It's kind of like a saran wrap. So let's get in here and cut it open and see what we got inside. Okay, now that we have this cut up, and we can see a lot of the structures inside. Up here are our lateral ventricles. I kind of cut through the third ventricle. The fourth ventricles are down here. Let's see. Here we have our thalamus and our hypothalamus that sit down in the midbrain and the dicephalon. There's this white area here, which I believe is the corpus callosum of the brain. Then right above it, we have the limbic lobes. Down here, this leaf kind of shape pattern. This is our the cerebellum. It's kind of interesting to look at. Let's see if we can see our lobes here. Our frontal lobe is this portion up here of the brain. Our occipital lobes are back here just above the cerebellum. The parietal lobes sit right here on the brain. Can't really tell the central sulcus on the sheep's brain because it doesn't have as many ridges as the human brain, but it would be it would separate the frontal and the parietal. Let's see if we can peel back some of these layers and see if we can see this top layer, kind of slowly peel it back, and then we can the dura mater to expose the arachnoid mater. We can expose that and get down to the pia mater, which actually surrounds the neural tissue. Some of the blood vessels you can see how they are positioned throughout the brain. When you remove the dura mater, you can kind of see this spider web-like layer, which is our arachnoid mater, which creates a little bit of space between the pia and the dura mater. Let's see. Let's see if we can, next week, let's look at the ventral side of the brain and see if we can locate some of our cranial nerves. Anything on my book? So most of the cranial nerves, they either start at the pons, come off the pons, or the medulla. And on this side, the two large portions of the cranial nerves, which I believe these ones are, we got the olfactory tract. I think it would come down here, and which go to the olfactory nerve for smell. Then we have, let's see, our trigeminal nerves. They would come off the pons this side. We next have right along here, I believe that's going to be our some of our optic nerves. So it's really kind of difficult to tell what is what here, but the big main ones you can see. So this would be our midbrain, which includes our pons and the medulla oblongata, which then travels down to the spinal cord. Our frontal lobes, the parietal lobes. Our temporal lobes would be kind of down here along the side. Occipital would sit underneath here. And the human brain, this portion, the midbrain and the pons and the medulla, would kind of come out more downward underneath the brain to follow the spinal cord, or the spinal column, or the brains that, for the sheep, it will come out the back to follow the backbones of the sheep. So that is our brain.